Hola, buenos días, que bola, huh? That means what's up in Havana or in Cuban Spanish. And that's handy because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. Not precisely the language, but Cuban something. Cuban, colorful, rhythmic, ukulele playing. You and me, we're going to be learning this in this video. This is one of the 10 styles lessons, a series that I do. And this is obviously Cuban music. And at the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to play this. Ah, sí. Guantanamera. Guantanamera. Or this other song also that we're going to have a look at, by Tito Puente. That was Celia Cruz's version of Guantanamera, and this is Tito Puente. Oye, ¿cómo va? Oye, ¿cómo va? Mi ritmo, vamos pa' gozar. Oye, ¿cómo va? Well, actually, we're going to be plucking that, but same. So basically, we're going to be using two songs, but to learn typical, very traditional and common patterns of Cuban music. What makes Cuban music sound Cuban? That's the question that we're going to answer with your ukulele, and also this colorful one. Talking about colors, if you want a rainbow of music and of content, you can hop to the Patreon page, and you'll also get a lot of content to go with this lesson. But mainly, I want to thank all the patrons making these lessons exist. They wouldn't without you guys, so thank you so much. And thank you, big shout out to patron Danny, who actually brought me to Celia Cruz's version of Guantanamera and also triggered this very series of 10 styles. 10, as if you didn't know what, you know what 10 is. It's 10. So this may sound difficult, but it really won't be, because we're going to really break everything down in little bits of rhythm, basically. We're going to start with Celia Cruz's Guantanamera, and actually we're just going to go through a lot of basics here with very simple chords, namely C, F, G, and F, which you already know, so we're fine. And we're going to talk about rhythm, so I'm going to go over here-ish, and I'm going to ask you, do you have an idea what this could be? No wrong answers. Well, these are our 8 beats that we're going to be using throughout the whole of this Cuban music lesson, and that's going to be our guiding beat of the foot, if you will. You don't have to beat your foot all the time, but it can help sometimes. And what we've got happening here is that we've got 8 main beats. You can see the big dashes underneath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And for each of those beats, you've got 2 littles. So basically, it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's what it is. That's sort of our default double bar of music, we could say. And to that we're going to be adding chords, but sometimes at different places. That's why it's going to be really super useful to use this sort of system that I've devised for this lesson specifically. So we're just going to start by having this CC on the first beat, FF third beat, GG fifth beat, and FF seventh beat. Sounds more complicated even when I say the numbers, but basically what it is, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and C, FF beat, GG beat, FF beat, CC beat. And now you can do this with me as we play this very simple little thing to get us started. 1, 2, 3, 4, CC beat, FF mute the strings, GG mute the strings, FF mute the strings, CC mute the strings, FF mute the strings, GG mute the strings, and keep it going. Yo soy un hombre sincero, GG. De donde crecen las palmas. Don't worry if I'm singing, you can just keep on playing. I think it's quite nice when we do things together like this, actually. De donde Okay, that's fine. That's really good. Now we've got what we wanted, which is basically you've got an idea of where the chords go. We've got 3 chords. It's 1, 4, 5, 4. But if you don't know those numbers, it's just C, F, G, F. Now we're going to complicate things slightly. And now and then, don't worry if I'm singing little bits of Celia Cruz's version of Guantanamera. It's also to give you a feel of what the whole package could sound like. You don't want to practice some tiny thing over and over without sort of remembering what the whole landscape can be like. Before we move along, we just need to do the same, but now this time we're going to move on to plucking instead of 2 down strums. We're going to be plucking C, C, F, F, G, G, F. 3, 4, C, C, F, F, mute, G, G, mute, F, F. Plucking all the strings with your 4 fingers. G, G, F, F, mute, C, C, F, F, G, G. Okay, that's not too bad. If you're not used to plucking so much, you can go a bit slower. And now we're going to move along to the first little bit of challenging ourselves with a slightly different rhythm, and it's this one. And I'm just going to play how it sounds, then do a bit of talking, and then we can work on it together. So how it's going to sound is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, F, F, G, F, F, C, 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 F, F, G, F, F, C, 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 F, F, G, F, F, C, C, C. So there's a very interesting component of Cuban rhythm. It makes up a lot of its wealth musically, let's say. It's that it's a polyrhythm, which means that a lot of the time you've got different rhythms at the same time. Now, there isn't that much happening here, obviously, because we've only got the beat and some chords. But it is a component already, and it's going to be a component more and more, that sometimes we've got a beat and we've got something else starting a new rhythmic thing, and both together they go, what's going on here, what's going on there. That's what makes Cuban music so special. It's Afro-Cuban music, really, because so many people were brought over from Africa to Cuba. They brought with them, of course, their music, their musicality, and a lot of sub-Saharan, so African music, is based around very complex kinds of polyrhythm. And of course, Cuban music didn't keep all that complexity, but we do have a lot of elements of different rhythms going on at the same time, with the Spanish and French heritage of chords and melody, right? So we want to practice this really slowly, and you want to notice where the beats are, which are the underlined dashes, the thick ones, and you want to notice where the chords are, and we're going to be plucking with these 4 fingers the chords, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, beat, F, F, G, F, F, C, 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 beat, F, F, beat, G, beat, beat, F, F, C, C, C. So I'm beating with my right foot all the time when I'm playing Cuban music. I can't do it otherwise. What you can do is just notice where the chords are compared to the beat. So it goes on the beat, then we've got another beat, and the F on the up, and then the F on the beat. And then we've got a beat without anything, and then G on the up, and then beat. And then we've got a beat, and then F on the up, and then F. And then on the last beat, we've just got C, C to go back to C. You see? See what I mean? Yes, hopefully. Absolutely, you see. So let's do that again quite slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, F, F, beat, G, beat, beat, F, F, C, 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 beat, F, F, beat, G, beat, beat, F, F, C, C. Okay, now we're gonna do it again, except I'm gonna sing and do some random other stuff. 2, 3, 4. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Hey, how did that go for you? Feel free to tell me in the comments. Obviously, all of this is 100% live-ish. I've edited it, obviously. So you might want to press pause and really just make sure you beat the beat with your foot and then play the chords at the right place. If you've nailed this, we can add the next step of this, which is only playing the index. Only playing the index as if we were playing exactly what we just did, only with this one, the finger that shows. So let me show you with this finger actually how that sounds. C, F, F, G, Okay, so you might want to practice this, and the way that you want to do it is to make sure you have the chords as soon as they're written. So if a chord is written, you have to have the right position. I know that it doesn't make sense to put the fingers down if you're just playing the index on an F because it's just the open C string, but you still need to do it because it's part of the preparation for the next step. So C, F, F, G, F, F. And now that we've practiced this, we're all set to learn the next bit, which is this one with the letters. Oh, just before I get to it, I want to say that if you want to play the whole Celia Cruz version, I've also prepared a song sheet with all of that and with all of the different rhythms and the chords that she uses, because she's also using slightly different chords when you get to the part that is that when she sings this y antes de crecer en las palmas y antes de morir me quiero echar mis versos del alma. And then the chorus. But basically there's little differences here, like with the DM7 moving up to an E-7. Anyway, let's get back to our sheep, which is a French saying. I don't know any Cuban sayings, I just know the rhythms. And here is our rhythm where A means, bear with me, all the other fingers. All the other fingers is the little A. So we've got C with the index, as we just played before, and then we've got all the other fingers, which is these three: thumb, middle, fourth, ring. So C, and then on the second beat we've got all the other fingers. And then between the beats we've got two indexes. Remember, the capital letters are the index only and the A's are the chords. It'll take some getting used to, but just repeat after me. I have a very flexible mind. You didn't do it. Okay, seriously. I have a flexible mind. Very. I have a very, okay, you say it. Good. Exactly. Okay, so C is just the index and A all the other fingers. C, A, F, beat. We've got an index on the beat, all the other fingers, and then beat, nothing, and then just index, beat, and then all the other fingers, beat, F, F. So F before the beat, F on the beat. And then we've got an F with all the other fingers, C, C, two index to go back to the index, which is the first one on the C. What does that mean? That means that you need to remember the A is the chord that was indicated just before. So if it says C and then an A, then that A is a C, right? Does that make, it does make sense. It does make sense, mum. So in slow motion, we're gonna have this. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, all F, F, all G, all F, F, all C, 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 all F, F, all G, all F, F, all C, C, C. And when I say C, 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 of the capital letter, only the index. And at full speed, it'll sound like this, just so you know. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. That's the chorus of Celia Cruz's Guantanamera in a really, really cool way. Now let's practice this again really slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, starting with the index C. All chords F, F, all G, all F, F, all C, C, C. Capital letter is C. C, C, C. A, F, F, A, G, A, F, F, A, C, C, C. A, F, F, A, G, A, F, F, A, C, C, C. Okay, now just before we add a little something to all of this, there is an even cooler way to play this that definitely rings even more Afro-Cuban beats or Latin America style, and that's to play that with sort of rhythmically arpeggioed chords, if you will, or sort of melody inside the chords, rather than with index and plucking the whole chord. And that will sound like this. 3, 4. I messed up it, but you see what I mean. And if you want to learn to play that, that little bit extra, the tabs are in the document that goes with this whole lesson. And let me just add a last little something to our loop. And this is something that we're going to talk more about in the second part of this lesson, in the second video with Tito Puente and the with the really cool oye como va. But here we can do it too. It's that we can add a new rhythm where, for example, I'll be doing the beat and I'll be adding 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and so if you've sort of managed the beat now, we can try and get it rolling together, and then I'm going to add some rhythm to it, and you can see if you can keep playing the right rhythm while I'm doing something else. That's polyrhythm. That's polyrhythmic. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, F, all, C, 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 all, F, F, all, G, all, F, F, all, C, C, C. Keep going. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera. Yes, did you manage to keep going? Did you manage to keep... And maybe you realize there's something really cool happening, is that my clap, 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 clap that I've written here was sort of creating something almost like a different rhythmical brain somewhere else in the song, but they go together and create this Cuban rhythm, which I've been talking about so much. You must be really itching to go to the second part of this video where we're going to be doing the famous Tito Puente song. It is so cool, not only because the chords are really great, even if there's only 2, but because the rhythm is amazing. There you go. So, see you for the second part of this Cuban rhythm style, well, Cuban style, one of the 10s. I need to find a catchy name for all this. See you in a bit.